Alright, just start saying, like, make up a story about how you were using a chainsaw in the woods.
Nah. It's gotta be more like I stuck a firecracker in a condom full of jelly beans.
What the fuck?
Alright, so, last Halloween, there was a bunch of children, running around my neighborhood trying to get free candy. And I'm like, well, that won't do. I don't have any candy to give out, So I really don't know what to do. I don't have any candy. There's children knocking on my door left and right. I'm like, well, shit. So I go in my closet looking for something to give out to these children. And I remember I have an industrial-sized tube sock full of jelly beans from last Easter, And so, I take the industrial-sized tube sock full of jelly beans. I go get what flavor condom should they be?
Cherry.
I go get my 24 pack of cherry flavored condoms from my dresser. And I start packing them individually with about 30 to 40 jelly beans each. And so, next kid that comes to my door, I give him a condom full of jelly beans. And they're like, well, thank you, mister. Jelly beans are my favorite. I'm like, sure thing. Sure thing, little boy. And he was dressed as Spider-Man, So I really like Spider-Man, so I gave him one that was packed a little bit more than the other ones, It might have had 50 jelly beans in there. And I didn't individually count them all out, but this one I could tell just by the weight of it that it had a lot more jelly beans.
It kind of felt like my nutsack in weight. Say that. To be honest, the weight is kind of similar to my nutsack. So that's a good judge.
Alright, so the next kid that comes to my door, little girl dressed like a butterfly. I think her older sister was with her. Older sister dressed as a cat. I'm like, oh, okay. Hand him 2 bags of jelly beans. And their mother was like, hold on 1 second.
And you're like, ugh.
What are those? What are those? And I'm like, those ma'am are bags of jelly beans. And she's like, no, you can't fool me. You can't just hand those out to children. And I said, not to fear, for they're not used. And they're cherry flavored. Makes for a tasty treat.
Well, you beat your meat.
And needless to say, cops showed up about 5 minutes later and shut down the whole operation. Said I could not give out any more jelly beans. And so I was like, oh shit. Now what are the children gonna do? Really, the police, they didn't think of the children. They put themselves first before the children. And now the children went home starving, probably didn't eat anything for dinner all week. And I could have helped them out, give them some jelly beans.
You gotta end it, yo.
So the moral of the story is... What the fuck do I say now? The moral of the story is, don't give out condoms on Halloween.
Even if they're full of jelly beans.
Even if they're full of jelly beans.
What if they're full of airheads?
That
What the
was
fuck, dude?
fucking amazing, dude.